another edition of Tribulation Ready Survival. I'm Michael, and today we are going to do the rocket hobo stove. But this is something you can make at home if that's what you've got, and you can cook a meal on it, and you can eat. You can also boil water on it. We've proved that. We will prove that, I should say. And so join us today on our journey with the rocket hobo stove.
Now, what you're going to need for this project is only a couple of things. You're going to need a small can. This is a small tomato sauce can. I think this is like a 3 or 4 ounce tomato sauce can. It's the one that's really small, about the diameter of a silver dollar, and about 3.5 inches long. Okay, this will be our vent pipe. And then you're going to need a number 10 can. So this is the big coffee can. We used to call these coffee cans. A lot of times when you get your freeze-dried food and whatever, you'll get these. Now, this is a little bit different. As far as you're going to want, if you can, the best is one with just a galvanized metal on the inside. You can just see it. There's no coating on the inside of this. There is a little bit here on the inside of this. There's a little bit of a coating, which is fine. Once we start the fire, that'll just burn right off. But galvanized metal is better because you don't have to burn all of this off. So those are the two things you're going to need to make this project. Alright, so we got the bottom, we got the top. I want my airflow to be towards the bottom where the fire is going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up about I could come up as high as 2 lines, but I want as much airflow closer to the bottom. Get away from the seam here. So I'm going to go to the opposite side of the seam. I'm going to bring my can about right there. I'm going to take off my Sharpie lid and draw around my can. And this doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be cutting it. Okay? I'm not an artist, Bob Ross, I'll never be. But I'm going to be cutting on the outside, as you can see. I'm going to be cutting on the outside of this circle. So this can is going to fit tightly in here. Okay, that's the goal. We want to get this a tight fit in here. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to drill a pilot hole here. Now some people, if you really want to get at it, you could use a hole saw. You could really get in here and have fun with it. I don't want to do that. I have done that before, but the whole goal is to not bend this can. It's weak at the top here. Okay, it's weak. So we don't want to crush this can. It's still strong down here. So I'm just going to drill a pilot hole. Now from here, I could do a couple of things. I could use my needle nose pliers and get in here and start ripping out some of this metal. Just like this. Now mind you, this is not like precision engineering here, okay? This is not spacecraft equipment that we're dealing with, all right? I'm going to get as close as I can. So, bear with me as I open up the hole. Okay, So now that we've got here, we've noticed that I've got some holes here. It's not, again, this is not rocket science. It's rocket stoves. So, still got a little ways to go. So now what I've done is I've gone around. Now mind you, there's going to be some sharp edges, but this is all on the inside. On the outside, it's not too bad. So I've drilled holes about every 1/4 inch-ish. It's not pretty. It's a Hobo rocket stove, man. Okay, and now it's time to test out, try out the rocket Hobo stove, or rocket stove in number 10 can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my favorite Uber matches, placing it in the center here with some sticks that I have here in this bucket. Small sticks that are going to be able to be fed right through that and into the fire. The wind is coming out of the north, so it should blow through my vent hole here, my air hole, and into the can. And I have placed a rock underneath this so that it's not directly on the table, so it won't burn it. And back on the back side here, I have about 2 cups of water, and we're going to see once we get it going how long it takes to boil 2 cups of water. Alright, I had to relight the Uber match. It's usually windproof, but the wind in here is so strong. Try it again. Nothing is perfect, guys. Nothing is perfect. We'll get it started. And air's blowing in this way. We'll start feeding the sticks in. Okay, nice and hot. Heat coming here. Air flowing through, I can feel it. Ventilation here, so when I have a pan on top, I can start feeding sticks in through this side. I'm going to let it get started because I don't want to. No big deal. It is pretty light, so I mean it doesn't weigh anything. All right, nice and hot. Now I'm going to put my pan of water over the top, and we'll see how long it takes to boil the water. You can already see the heat hitting the bottom of the can. The air is flowing. I'm going to show you here on the side. You can see that the wind is absolutely going into that. Nice vent hole. We're going to feed it some sticks. Keep feeding it because it's a hungry thing. You can see the air being blown in there. Now, if I had a pan that covered the entire top side, these vent holes would still be plenty of air. I could use a cast iron skillet on there if I wanted to. But that air is blowing in there like crazy. And we will continue to let you watch the process here. Let me move the camera. So we're going to continue to monitor this. The temperature outside is about 63, 64. You can see that the heat is definitely getting the bottom of that pan.
Okay, I came up with a genius idea. I took the thermometer off of my barbecue and have now placed it on this in one of the drill holes I drilled. I'm going to continue feeding the fire from here. We're at a good roll here. I want to go a little bit more. Okay, here we are. It is now about 15 or 20 minutes messing around with this, trying to get it to a nice consistent temperature. We are well over 700 degrees. Oops, we are over 700 degrees on the thermometer. I'll make that 600. We're about 600 degrees on the thermometer. Been as high as 700. The water is boiling. It's taking about 20 minutes, give or take. We'll go over some of the pros and cons of this. I've used these before. I've done this before, and they work well. You just have to do a lot of feeding. You got to do a lot of feeding on this. It constantly wants sticks. It constantly wants air. And if you don't feed it, it will go out, and the temperatures are going to fluctuate fairly wildly, actually. So you kind of got to figure out how you work with your particular stove when you make it, if you make it. Hello and welcome. Okay, now it's time to test out. I'll try this again as soon as somebody's done burning their tires. Pan on top. I can start feeding sticks in through this side. We can let it get started because I don't want to knock it out yet. But I'm going to get my sticks ready, my nice long sticks that I can jam in there. Got a whole bunch of them. Oops. Let's try that again. See, that would be an outtake.